In the remake of the popular 1980s film, dancing and loud music are outlawed in a small southern town as a result of a tragic car crash.
Public dancing among Beaumont's minors will be in violation of the law.
But when Wren is transplanted from Boston to Beaumont, he's convinced that the law is hopelessly misguided.
There was once a time for that law, but not anymore. This is our time.
Wren kicks up his feet and shows his fellow classmates and the town how right it is to dance in Footloose.
All right, Footloose. We've all just seen it. Salim, why don't you take it away?
Wow, seriously, what a surprise. Going into this movie, I thought it was gonna be like a hot melodramatic mess, you know, invoking lots of unintentional laughter. And though there were a little of those scenes here and there was a lot of work involved here to really make this a serviceable and honestly somewhat enjoyable experience. There's a lot of soul, there's a lot of heart, and it's really hip.
Almost every good idea that this script has, it borrows verbatim from the original.
I haven't seen the original, and I feel like the majority of the audience who are gonna come and see this are probably not gonna see the original as well. The people who are gonna come and see this are fans of dance movies.
There's no sense of that there's a society at work that is oppressive and locking things down. They just seem to be kind of an annoyance. And as such, I don't think they motivate the outlandish teenage rebellion.
We all forget what it's like to be a teenager, but it was horrible.
I don't actually, because I'm still there, right? I think.
There's a lot of angst, there's a lot of brooding, there's a lot of repression, you have a lot of restrictions on you, and I think that dance in this film is an expression of that.
I guess the emotions for me didn't really ring true because we don't have the same performance from John Lithgow. I mean, Dennis Quaid, I think, is actually quite beautiful in this film. He's subtle, he's restrained, he brings his world weariness to the character, no doubt. But what John Lithgow brought was this bully pulpit. He gives you that sense that he can summon the fire and brimstone to motivate an entire congregation of people. Dennis Quaid seems like too much of a reasonable guy to actually get anyone to follow him anywhere.
Well, he's a very emotional guy. I mean, he lost his children in this movie, and I think that part of his performance, which I also agree was really strong, added some really interesting dramatic peaks and valleys to the film.
Wren, played by Kenny Wormald, we're told that he has a mom who's died, and this legitimates most of his character, but we don't really ever get developed beyond that point.
We still see the brooding nature on his face whenever it's brought up about his mom, and I don't know, I bought it.
The woman he plays off, Julianne Hough, I think she's quite fine. I mean, I think she looks like a young, cherubic Jennifer Aniston, and I think she does quite well. I mean, Lord knows she can dance. I'm just not how sure I feel about her character and her acting. It seems a bit strident.
I would say the thing that I liked most about this film wasn't the story, was the performance of Miles Teller.
Damn,
I love Miles Teller. He was great.
Man.
What's the matter with you, huh? We drove 2 hours to get here. You're just gonna stand around and mope?
Look, I don't dance. Right? I don't dance. I can't dance at all.
He plays a character who can't dance and then learns how to dance in this Footloose and fancy-free musical.
Yeah.
And I thought he was charismatic. I thought he was great comedic timing. I really enjoyed his performance.
Yeah, he's so endearing. We root for this kid from the first moment that we see him to the end.
And I like the uncle, who's
Ray McKinnon.
Yes, he's great. I mean, he's got this like homespun quality to him. He's like a hick, but not a stereotypical one.
You can get this baby running. She's all yours. Okay, the door sticks, and the gas pedal's missing. A couple of the, hey, it's a fixer-up.
I honestly thought that the real star of this film was Craig Brewer, the director, known best for Hustle and Flow and Black Snake Moan. And obviously those movies have a certain amount of grit and realness to it, and I think that he brought that for this movie, even though it is a dance movie.
From a directing standpoint, though, it feels a bit uneven. Right? It goes from this mute, rote, teenagey angst thing, and then it takes these peaks and troughs of melodrama, and for me, it feels a bit patchy.
Well, that last third, that last act really plummets into a morose film, and it's sad, and though
Because they don't dance for half
They
an
don't
hour.
dance,
They
right.
dance for half an hour!
I like that.
Come on!
What I realized that this movie actually doesn't have as much dancing as you would think it should have.
So with that really violent fight scene at the end of the
Really long.
film, really long, yeah, and then there's a lot of sex in the film. I thought it was a little risque. Kind of enjoyed it.
I have no problem with that.
With the fight scene, you know, it was a little long, it was a lot out of nowhere, but best believe a good portion of the theater was clapping, me included, and I thought that was substantial enough.
As much as I am critical of the rest of its film for really not sticking to its guns, we can agree, yes? We can agree that the choreography is fantastic.
Yes.
Hey, mister, won't you sell me a bacon?
whenever it's set to music, I think this movie really finds its stride, right? It's kinetic, it's frenetic, you're there. I mean, it's gonna sound like a cliche, but...
I saw you tapping your toes.
tapping my feet is a bit embarrassed.
All right, well, let's take our tickets and vote on this.
All right.
Everything that's not set to music in this movie is a bit bland and teeny boppery, but the choreography is fantastic. And for that reason alone, I think it's a stream it.
If you love the original and to see Miles Teller, I say stream it.
Footloose is for those who really enjoy dance movies and those who may have been dragged to it on a date. See it.
Well, it looks like our two stream it's trumped your see it. So it's a stream it for Footloose.
Oh well.
I'm all right with that.
All right.